Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Wrestleview Post Raw number 116. I am Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And I'm Victoria Tedesco.
Wow. Well, I mean, do you just want to just start?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Right,
of course.
Yes, of course.
I was chatting with everybody last night, but hello, it's my day. What are you doing? Get out of here. Get out of my shot. Nobody wants you.
I can't, it's so wide angled that, I can't, be totally out of the shot.
Okay, but you don't need to be, in my shot at all. Get out of
All
here.
right, all right.
No, I am very excited. I'm very, very, very excited. I will be honest, though. I had to go back and watch the cash-in because Liliana peed all over me during the whole thing. So Mike's like, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And then she peed on me and it was a whole big debacle. But then finally got her situated, got to watch it. And I got to live in the glory just over and over and over again. And I'm so excited. But you were very rude. And we'll get to that. You were extremely rude.
What did I do?
You were extremely rude tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah.
What did I do?
One of your tweets was not appreciated.
Oh, I'm not
all.
allowed to have an opinion?
No. Nope.
God, you're just like the people that comment on Wrestleview. It's like, you're not allowed. No, your opinion is not
I'm just so
my opinion.
happy, but you know what? You don't have to rain on my parade.
I'm not raining on your parade.
Well, no, there were a few people who, actually, most of our, listeners were very, very happy for me. And a lot of people congratulated me.
It's like a victory for you.
Yes, it is a victory for me. Mostly
Victoria's
a lot
crusade
of people,
to get the Miz back over.
A lot of people were very supportive. There were a few people, though, who were like, who cares? And hope this doesn't last long and blah, 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 blah.
Is that
and
Andrew Elder?
No, Andrew was actually very supportive. He was actually very supportive. Andrew and I actually had a discussion last night about, he's like, I don't know if you saw the chat, but it was, who's more likely to be on the couch, you or Andrew being on the list? And I said to Andrew, I go, Mike's more likely to be on the couch than you staying on the list forever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, that's bad for me.
That's bad for you, but that's just the truth. But anyway, I'm very excited. I'm very, very happy. A lot of great things for The Miz having the championship, and Miz and Mrs. is coming back April 12th. So make sure you tune in. I should market The Miz's his Instagram account. That was all me. No, I'm just kidding.
Like the non-French Maurice. Oh my God. Oh my God.
No, it's very exciting. It's just
Mr. V is in the chat room congratulating you on your WWE Championship win.
Thank you so much. Uncle Billy, he congratulated me too, So people have been very, very supportive, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy, and I really do appreciate all the support and all the love. Miz and I are very, very happy. We're very excited, and that's it. That's all I can say.
Jesus
I'm just so elated. I don't really have many words other than the fact that I couldn't be happier. I'm in all my glory right now. And that's that.
Randy Torcola thinks that we're heading toward being the separate bedroom couple. I would settle on the Lucy and Ricky Ricardo setup where we just have two twin beds in the same room. That way you don't steal the covers. I don't steal the covers. I don't get kicked in the middle of the night.
I don't get your snoring.
You snore louder than me,
No,
by the way.
Well, only when I was pregnant.
Still.
That was it. No, I don't still
never
snore.
went away. It's
Nope.
never went away.
Nope.
I'll record you.
All right, go ahead.
I will.
See what
I'll
happens.
absolutely record you.
But thank you, everybody. And for those who were not supportive, screw you.
Wow. Wow.
No, because there were people literally coming at me, and they were like, "You're ridiculous." I'm like, "Ew, get over yourself." This is not the worst thing to happen in the world. So just
no.
get over it.
Like
some people were just talking to me as if like you're an idiot and this is the worst thing to ever happen. And
no.
Come on,
In
it's
terms of
very
the worst things to happen, the Miz, especially in this last year, the Miz winning the WWE Championship is far, far removed from being the worst thing to happen.
Exactly.
You want to see something bad? I can show you something bad.
Why do we have to show something bad right now? Why can we continue this momentum
because this just needs
excitement?
Needs to be seen.
Oh no, why?
Randy Orton, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's worse than The Miz.
Yeah.
That's worse than The Miz.
Yeah. It looks so fake too. It's just like.
It's like, wow. Chocolate syrup right out of his mouth. Oh, poor Randy Orton.
I don't know. Yeah. So if anyone wants to come at me about The Miz, I'll battle you. I battled Andrew and I won. So.
She'll do it.
What are you making that face for?
You're so weird.
I'm not weird. I'm excited. I'm excited.
You're so scary.
I'm not scary. I'm just happy and I'm proud.
Let's say hello to the people in the chat room before we begin our Raw review. But man, Victoria is on cloud 9, and I think everybody in the chat room is pretty happy for you. We got Quentin Walters in the chat room tonight.
I know Quentin's happy for me.
Don't forget, like, subscribe, or else I will hack into the live feed and sing. That's what Quentin Walters says. He said
that multiple times last night, and I thought that was hilarious.
We got I Am Alpha here. We have Juan Alarcon in the chat room. Hi, Tedesco's enjoy the Miz title for now, Victoria. I can see the headlines already. Bobby Lashley destroys unidentified white man. Andrew Elder. Hi, Mike and Queen Victoria. Nafis Sadat, we missed you, Nafis. We missed you.
Yes.
Someone is cheery, he says.
I'm very cheery.
Grash is here. We say hello to Grash.
Hello, everybody.
I think he enjoyed your deal. Mashoon Walls, let Queen Tori speak. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
We got we said hello to Andrew Elder. We got Randy Torcola. Liliana was angry, misgirling the cash in. Yes, she was.
Yeah, I guess so. By her,
see, I told you she's a daddy's girl. She's a daddy's girl. She was just as disturbed as I was. Peed all over Victoria, ruined the. That was.
You weren't disturbed.
That was Liliana's cash in.
That
was Liliana's cash in.
You were not disturbed.
Well, I'll tell you the things that I am disturbed about in a little while.
Yes, that's fine.
We'll get there. We got Kit Dice in the chat. I was really scared it would be another failed cash in, so I'm happy. Kit Dice is happy about this.
There you go. See, people are supportive. Majority of people are supportive.
Jorge Oliva's here. Hola, Familia Tedesco. Do you think Miz will make it to Mania as champ? And if so, how would you write that storyline?
I know what I would like to happen.
I know what I would like to happen, too. I don't know if I want to say it right this second. I am Alpha.
Tell him we'll get to that.
We're definitely gonna get to that. I mean, that is like basically the whole
huge question.
That's the whole purpose of tonight's show. Anyway,
it is for sure.
Andrew wants to know if he's still on the list.
No, he is not. He is actually off the list because he did that whole. He congratulated me last night, and then he did the post congratulating me, and then talking about how I won the battle.
You actually think Andrew Elder is being genuine with you?
I do.
Come on.
Like I said, you're more likely to staying on the couch than
he owns a Fiend sweatshirt. He's not to be trusted. Andrew Elder is not to be trusted.
In his defense, the Fiend at the beginning was a really cool gimmick.
All right, fine. I'll give you that. All right. Oh, Jorge, we will get to that. Mr. V's in the chat room. We have Daniel Schell. Has Victoria sobered up yet from The Miz?
No,
I don't think she ever will.
Still on
I don't think she ever. Turfa Quembe. Miz is a good choice. LOL. I don't know if that's genuine.
I don't know or not, but either way,
she'll take it. Corey Howe. Hey, Tedesco's, what does Baby Lily think of Miz winning the WWE title? Well, Corey, Liliana peed all over Victoria during the cash-in, so that should give you a little sneak preview of what she thought. Anyway, Jerome Weiland. Victoria is feisty tonight, he says.
I am feisty.
She is. She's extremely feisty. But this is her 24 hours removed from the situation. You should have seen her last night. It was scary.
I know what you're going to say at first.
It was scary. Anyway, so let's talk about the show. Now, this was actually a really good follow-up to Elimination Chamber. I thought Elimination Chamber, I heard some other reviews and stuff like that, and I heard that your buddy, Brian Alvarez, hated everything about The Miz, from what I was told. And of course thought that the entire show sucked. And I was like, how can you watch Elimination Chamber last night, watch a 2.5 hour show that had some good action and think that show sucks? I don't understand that. But I thought it was a focused show last night. I thought every
I thought so, too.
match had a purpose. It had some kind of eye on WrestleMania.
Yes, it did.
And tonight, there's no clear direction for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania right now on the Raw side, but they're definitely creating an interesting title picture. Let's just put it that way. And it's not the title picture that I want. I'm not going to lie, but it is an interesting title picture. So the show starts off with The Miz. The Miz coming out. He had 2 things of pyro. Victoria, you had to be very happy.
Of course I was happy. He deserves all the pyro.
He comes out. He actually cut a really... I thought Miz... Like, this is the Miz I wanted to see tonight. This is the Miz I've been dying to see for a while, actually. The one who can cut a really, really good promo. A solid promo... kind of saying, like, you know, all the haters, you know, kiss my ass, you know, I'm the WWE champion. Like it's exactly what I've been waiting for him to do. He's been acting like a total goddamn goof for months, you know, with the John Morrison stuff. John Morrison was very much just like a bit character in the background tonight. No goofy, correct, none of that crap. It was a solid ass promo, and I thought it was a good way to get his title run started.
You know, so those years ago when he was champion going into WrestleMania, remember when they cut that really, really good video package for him?
Oh God,
that was really good.
The one where he's at the control panel.
Yes,
that was great.
So and
that's the greatest thing the Miz ever did.
And then he had the song. I think it was by Nas. But he had the song. So over like on social media tonight, he had not to that full effect. But going into this segment, you know, he posted a video with that song in the background that he had for that video packaging.
Right.
To kind of like, you know, remind people that, you know, this isn't first rodeo, right? With the title. And that it's been a while, it's been a bit, but the fact that he's making, you know, which we'll talk about when he talks about it in the promo, but he's making history by being champion again, you know?
Yes, by being champion, that is an event in history. This is true.
It's a nice reminder of him. Again, there's multiple layers to Miz than the cowardly heel, right? And the goofy heel, which he's played both roles very well, in my opinion. But that serious side to him where he can cut a good promo. I also like the fact that he talks about, you know, back in the day, a lot of people did not accept him in the locker room. He took a lot of heat, a lot of hazing, a lot of things happened to him.
This is true.
And he reminded people again slightly of those things, you know, that he's come a really long way, and he's deserving of this. So I think a lot of people dismiss him and thinking that he is just like
who would do that?
Well, nobody in our channel, but but it was a solid way of showing people like, okay, he has the money in the bank.
Yeah.
Cash it in. It makes sense. You know what I mean? So.
No, it doesn't make sense. He shouldn't have had the Money in the Bank briefcase. He lost it in December and he got it back. I mean, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, everything else you said is right. But that portion of it doesn't make sense. But that's a pretty big goddamn portion too of it.
I might
Come on.
talk to
you know that was stupid that he got the Money in the Bank briefcase back. It's like, that was like total like, we still want to, you know, let's just retroactively bring back the Money in the Bank briefcase. It's like, why?
I think you're very off base right now, but again,
come on, you know that was stupid.
I have my issues with you, so
you know that was dumb.
You're dumb. How about that? But I have my issues with you. But do you have any thoughts?
Do I have any thoughts? No, I just told you what they were. I said
no, but you had a very stupid thought when you tweeted tonight.
I said, what did I say? I said it was a good.
No. I will read it to you. I mean, we didn't finish the opening segment.
Yeah, so let's finish the opening segment,
and then I will read to you the stupidity that you wrote.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to hear is my words read back to me. The Hurt Business, they come out. Bobby Lashley, who was obviously an integral part of the Miz cashing in Money in the Bank last night by destroying Drew McIntyre, comes out and wants to cash in on the deal they made last night. The deal apparently was Lashley will destroy Drew McIntyre as long as Lashley is the first in line to get a WWE Championship opportunity. And Miz comes up with a bunch of excuses, which I thought was hilarious, actually. He really does do the chicken shit heel really, really well.
Very
really well. And he says, I have a lot of media to do. I have so many stresses. And
I have a show coming back.
I got a show coming back on April 12th. I got to do some media for that. And Bobby Lashley goes, well, you have 1 hour to come to your senses. And one way or the other, I'm going to beat the life out of you and take the WWE Championship. It will be painful, merciless, and awesome. And Lashley goes, and Miz looks extremely uncomfortable. So that was a good opening segment, and I love that they were showing. Like, I like that it was an hour, and it wasn't like, oh, I give you till the end of the show, because like this would totally run out of steam, at the end of a 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
later,
it wouldn't need to extend for that
who
long.
cares?
Yeah.
Like, it would not hold my attention at all. But an hour, to get this ultimatum, yeah, I can definitely last an hour and wait for that. I love that they had the countdown clock going on that. This was like the one angle that they had figured out heading into the show. This actually felt prepared. The rest of the show felt like a mishmash of just, let's just do exactly what we did last week with these people and just have them totally spinning their tires in the mud kind of thing. There was like really no advancement in any other discernible place. In fact, there was a couple steps back tonight in some storylines.
Yeah, there were.
But this was really, really well done. Obviously, we get to the 9 o'clock hour. Bobby Lashley's dressed to compete for a WWE Championship opportunity, and The Miz comes out. He is not dressed to compete. He says he needs a week. So next week, it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus The Miz, I almost said Drew McIntyre, for the WWE Championship. Except Braun Strowman comes out.
That was
Braun
stupid.
Strowman is... With Braun Strowman, they had multiple opportunities to get this guy, to pull the trigger on this guy. He was red hot in 2017. Red hot. Heading into WrestleMania 33, and they did nothing with him. They did that big match with him and Big Show where he gave Big Show the superplex and the ring imploded, heading into that WrestleMania. There was a lot of cool things going on. It's like, wow, what are they gearing Braun Strowman up for? And it wound up being nothing. He won, but he did nothing. He even lost the Andre the Giant Battle Royal to fucking Mojo Rawley. And then I believe he had a feud with Roman Reigns that year, but it didn't really go anywhere. And it was like he was still hot going into 2018. And it's like, wow, everybody really wants to see Braun Strowman get a title opportunity. Instead, at WrestleMania, he's winning the tag team titles with Nicholas, which is obviously something that goes down in wrestling history as one of the dumbest, silliest things that you've ever seen at WrestleMania.
I thought it was really funny.
But it was a thing, and it was cute, and people remember it. So I guess that's a win. But he never got that heat back after that. Never got the heat back. And then they finally give him the title. Everybody wanted to see him get an opportunity with the title when he was red hot, when he was the monster. They were having him tip over ambulances, pull down the stage, do all these different things. But when they gave him the title, it was solely because they had nothing for him going into WrestleMania, and Roman Reigns backed out of WrestleMania. So it's like, well, we got to get the title off of Goldberg. So, Braun Strowman, it's your turn now. It just felt extremely underwhelming.
Yeah. And
now it's like in 2021... he's been back and forth with being injured and being healed and then being injured again. And I don't want to see Braun Strowman anywhere near the WWE Championship picture here.
Well, I agree 100% with you that it just, he fell off the wagon, they fell off the wagon with in terms of, really giving him legitimate things for you to care about when it comes to his character. The major problem I have with that whole thing is the fact that he really did have a lot of potential. He was red hot. And I really thought, he's obviously look-wise, you would think he'd be a better heel. But, however, there were times, when he was that face where it was like, it made sense. Like, it was a weird thing to be looking at this, like, large man, but, like, really likable man and really, like, rooting for him and actually thinking, like, he's funny. It's not very, it's not typical. You know what I mean? You look at a guy like that and you think, like, he's got to be the destructive heel, and that's the end of it. But he had the potential to be something else, to really be your face or your heel. Well, and then it just kind of slowly, slowly, but
he's a classic example of like one of those guys that they take 9 years to pull the trigger on them, and they wind up missing that sweet spot. Like they did that for years with Bayley and Sasha Banks. It's like,
they did.
There was a couple times where it was like, oh my God, they're finally going to pull the trigger, and then they waited longer. That by the time, you think about Bayley and Sasha Banks, their feud built up for years, from 2016, 2017, whenever Bayley debuted. They were doing the best friends thing, but it was always like, oh, is Sasha going to turn? What's going to happen here? They actually did an angle where they brawled a little bit, and then they had a disastrous angle with Dr. Shelby, and they pulled back on that. And then it got to the point where it was like they pulled the trigger on Sasha Banks and Bayley. And it was, they had a good match at Hell in a Cell, but that was it. You had this 3-4 year build to this showdown with Bayley and Sasha Banks that should have had multiple matches, should have been red hot, should have been a huge focus. Instead, it was one and done. That's shameful.
It's amazing.
Shameful.
They do tend to go backwards with that, because sometimes when things are just so blatantly obvious that the crowd wants it, and it's it's going to be a home run if they just pull the trigger on it, right?
Yep.
They don't. And then there's certain things that they push and push and push that it's never going to escalate into anything they actually envision it to be. So it is. It's very bizarre. Braun Strowman didn't care to see him out with Bobby Lashley and The Miz at all.
Now, I issued a tweet after this segment where I was like, wow, this title picture is not getting me pumped up at all. Last night, when I did Wrestleview Live with Doug Lackey, I was talking about how I need to have an intravenous drip of Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, and I need 2 bags ready to go. Just get that drip going. And I'm like, now it's like, are they even going to do this at WrestleMania? Because like that, their showdown in Elimination Chamber was it was on fire. It was amazing. And we went from this potentially great match with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre to The Miz and Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. It's like, well, what a step back. And it's like, and then you have Shane McMahon come out after all that. And it's like, it's very clear they're setting up Shane and Braun Strowman for whatever reason. You think that Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, like their friendship came out of nowhere in November, and it was like, okay, they were friends. Okay, they never ever showed that at any point through their entire WWE careers, but they're really apparently friends, and now we just got to go with that. Braun Strowman, what problem has he ever had with Shane McMahon? Where did that come from?
I have no idea.
But anyway, Shane's out there. Braun Strowman is crying about like Shane having a vendetta against him. Unclear why he would even have a vendetta against him. I mean, it like Braun Strowman is the face, and of course he's looking like a total fucking idiot. The stipulation for the Elimination Chamber was you have to be a former WWE champion. Braun Strowman even admitted he was the Universal Champion. That's not the WWE Champion.
Right. The whole thing didn't make sense. It honestly didn't.
Make him look like such an idiot.
The whole thing was just off base. It was.
And now it's like
him being included in the equation was just not
right.
Like obviously, Bobby Lashley, makes sense. They had the whole deal, and they he attacked Drew McIntyre. Obviously, Miz had the Money in the Bank contract, briefcase rather. Mm-hmm. Like those things make sense. Braun Strowman, hello, where'd you come from? Like, why are you here? You can't just go.
Andrew Elder's actually bringing up Raw Underground as a potential reason, but still, even that. I guess because he crushed that what was that guy's name? Babatunde, but Dabba-Kato?
But is that enough?
Dabba-Kato.
Right.
That was Shane's guy.
And that's a good
Dabba-Kato
point.
was in the draft.
That's a good
Remember
point.
he was in the draft?
No, of course.
He got drafted
I don't
on
know.
television.
It's a good point, but it's not enough for people to remember to be like, oh yeah. Like Andrew just happens to be very knowledgeable and remember these things.
Like,
but the most of the people are like, oh yeah. I mean, Raw Underground kind of like came and went, and it was like,
right. Yeah, it'd
be embarrassing to even bring that up because
I know.
for them, like, let's say like Braun Strowman finally addresses Shane McMahon and it's like, oh, you remember in Raw Underground? It's like
that was like
that was like what, a month? I don't even know.
Still like, I feel like I feel like that was like I had like something wrong with me and I had a fever dream and just dreamt up Raw Underground. How could that possibly have happened?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's not enough.
Like I said, and I agree with Andrew. So that's like totally the angle that they're going around. But
anyway, it's like
it's not enough for anybody.
Braun
to
versus
remember.
Shane. Does anybody really want to see that? Like, why does Shane need to wrestle at WrestleMania every fucking year? It's like we don't need to. It just doesn't need to happen.
What is it? Add to his paycheck?
He missed it last year, but like Jesus, like you know, he's almost 50 years old. Like, it's that time of year again where I just want to jump off of shit. Like. That's every Shane match
that's
now.
Your goal to like you just want to jump off things.
Yeah. But Shane anyway, he actually did Braun Strowman a favor and put him in a match with Bobby Lashley, where he said if you beat Bobby Lashley, you're going to be inserted into the match next week with Miz and Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. So it would be a triple threat match. So I don't know how Braun Strowman can continue a storyline now. Again, they killed this storyline with Shane and Braun, where Shane has a vendetta against Braun Strowman because he's very clearly giving him every opportunity in the world to get the WWE title.
Faces are stupid.
The faces are always stupid in WWE. Always.
They always look like a fool.
Jeez, it's like crazy. All right,
my bone
anyway,
pick.
so my tweet at the end of this was like, oh God, I'm not exactly excited about this two big lumbering guys, but that tweet did not age well because when we got to the main event and it was Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley, that was awesome. Okay, maybe awesome is an exaggeration, but it was way better than it had any right to be. Way better.
Yeah. Well, listen, I have an issue with you.
Okay.
Because in the beginning of the night, after The Miz and Bobby Lashley had, did their thing.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
You wrote, decent start to Raw. The Miz did cut a solid promo, something he's always capable of doing when they're not doing the goofy comedy.
I did say that.
With him.
Yep.
Still hoping this is just an appreciation reign and not a long-term reign from the WWE Championship.
Well, do you really think that Miz is a viable ratings draw as the WWE Champion?
Yes.
Who's having the fever dream now? Jeez.
I mean, that was just rude. Like, did you have to say it like that? Like, you know how excited I am. Did you really have to be
I don't tweet for your benefit. I tweet to educate.
You're not educating anybody. You're not educating anyone.
It's the start of conversation.
No, it's not. What conversation? That you want to get punched in the face? Is that the conversation that you're looking to get accomplished?
Like, you're okay. You could be a Miz fan, but you don't have to be like Miz freak.
You're just rude. You're not nice.
Whatever.
I just don't understand like what the hate is. I really don't.
There is no hate.
There is hate.
There is no hate.
There is hate.
Okay, I'll tell you why. Number one, Miz has done nothing for a full calendar year. A full calendar year, he's done nothing. What did he do before he came to Raw? What did he do?
I don't. Okay. You're really, really gonna grind my gears right now. What is wrong with you?
No, we're being serious. We're having a serious conversation.
No. We're not having a serious conversation.
No.
You're doing this just to be mean.
I am not doing this to be mean. I'm just asking.
Miz,
look,
he doesn't have to do anything for an entire year. He's obviously been in that position before. Why
So
not?
have a million people.
No. I'm gonna use a Ricochet. Why not, Miz?
Okay.
Why not, Miz? Even if he haven't done anything per se, why not, Miz? Why not?
No, he can have the title, but when you're building up a bigger storyline that it actually turned out to be pretty damn good with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, it's like, do you want the fucking Miz in that match?
Yes.
Really?
Well, no. Here's my
I'll
thing.
give you a Miz. Really?
Here's the thing. Because of the way that this whole year has just, this isn't a typical year, okay?
Oh,
Maybe you would have I'm saying maybe you would have a point if COVID wasn't a thing, okay? That things are just kind of like last minute. They didn't really have a clear direction. They still maybe don't even have a clear direction. I still think they're even teetering between Bobby Lashley and Sheamus at this point. I still think that that's up in the air. I think that it's not definitive yet. So when you don't have something that's clear cut and you have a weird year with COVID, a global pandemic, why is this not okay for the Miz to be involved? Why is it so random? I don't see it.
because he was going against Bad Bunny and got slapped in the face by Bad Bunny an hour before he won the WWE Championship. He's still going to face Bad Bunny at WrestleMania.
And that's fine, but there's no...
Unless they're going to put Bad Bunny in the fucking WWE Championship match.
Okay, well, that would be a little extreme. But no,
But
weirder,
he's not gonna
weirder
hold-
stuff is happening, though. So I don't understand.
No, not at WrestleMania.
Oh my God, no. Stop.
They're bringing people back to
Stop.
watch this. You like after a long year of having no fans in the building.
So you're unhappy with this Miz right now.
I am not unhappy with it. But I'll be happy if it ends at Fastlane.
Which it probably will.
Okay,
So I don't know
that's
why.
Not bad.
Right, but why?
But maybe it'll end next week.
It better not end next
I don't think
week.
it's gonna end next week.
I
But-
think it's at least till Fastlane.
But Bad
there's no-
Bunny.
But there's no reason for you to like really be hating on it.
I don't hate on it.
You
I'm-
are though.
I'm just like, I know what I want to see.
I know what you want to see, but there are
but-
other people who like.
But it's what they were building up. It's what they were building up.
I don't know.
It's like they
I
take
still
you.
think
They
things
take,
are up in the air.
Well, no, it's WWE. They take you over here and then it's like back down.
Maybe, but yeah, you're right about that. But the one thing I will say is this: I think with the again not being too sure how things are going to happen, I think you have to do stuff like this. I don't think it's so out of the norm because you don't even know.
I mean, it definitely
listen, Drew
does.
McIntyre had COVID, right?
Okay.
That threw a loop into things. What I'm
Not
saying
really.
is. What I'm saying is you never know what's going to happen with people. You could build up this dream match and then, God forbid, somebody else gets COVID who's in that dream match.
Right.
So you have to be prepared. You have to have many options is what I'm saying. So if it's Lashley or Sheamus or Miz or even whoever, and I'm being serious right now. I'm not saying because I'm just like a misfit. It could be literally whoever they choose.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is they really need to have multiple ways of going about this because you just never know. The day before somebody could test positive and then you have a completely different situation, or a week before. You really have to be prepared. And I'm not saying that they're obviously not overly prepared. They write the show the night, like 20 minutes before it begins.
They're writing it as it
goes.
goes on.
Right. So, but you have to be prepared for. You have to explore options. You have to just kind of be ready to be like, okay, so-and-so's going to be putting into the match. I agree with you. I don't think this is going to be a very long reign, but I'm enjoying it right now.
I'm not saying I'm not enjoying it either. All I said in the tweet was that I hope it's not a long-term thing.
And
if it goes till
probably
Fastlane, that's not a long-term thing.
No, and it probably not. But like the fact that you're,
But
I don't know.
the good thing about it is that, you know, it's not like they're saying, okay, it's Drew versus Sheamus at WrestleMania now, and it's like, okay, well, we still have a month and a half to go until WrestleMania, and then, you know, it'll get stale by the time it gets there. Like, you know, like this definitely brings a distraction. Like Drew McIntyre was not on the show tonight.
Yeah.
So, you know, like gives another week of, you know, just keeping everything on the back burner. So that's helpful.
Yeah. I just think that you have to, in this weird time, you have to have many, many options. You can't be so sure that like if they're picturing Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus.
Okay. Well, if it's not Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, I hope they have a better idea than The Miz. Like,
It would probably be Lashley.
yes, I agree. It would probably be Lashley.
But if it wound up being...
But the question is now, what do you do with Bobby Lashley if it does wind up being Drew McIntyre and Sheamus at WrestleMania? What do you do with Bobby Lashley? Are they setting him up for Goldberg?
Possibly. Or a triple threat.
Oh, I don't want anybody interfering in my Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus big nasty brawl.
I mean, that's a possibility too, though.
It is definitely,
and it's a strong possibility. It's more of a possibility than The Miz versus Sheamus. I mean, The Miz versus Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Yes.
And I do agree with you. I don't think Miz's endgame for WrestleMania, obviously. I'm not stupid.
He's Bad Bunny's endgame.
Right. I'm not stupid. But what I'm saying is just though, let's not be so sure that weird things have happened.
There's weird things and there's weird.
I don't know.
There's weird. Anyway, so getting back to this main event, I really, really liked Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. Now, we saw Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman face each other at Extreme Rules in 2019 in Philadelphia.
We did. Yep.
And that was one hell of a last man standing match.
Mm-hmm.
They did the big slam off of the off of one of the entryways to the arena.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. It was like right in front of our face. We were
yes.
right there. Everybody wants you to pie me in the face because the Miz won the title.
We don't have anything though.
Too bad.
It's fine.
Well,
we'll do it next week.
All right. How about this? If the Miz retains the WWE Championship next week, you will pie me in the face.
Okay.
All
I
right.
can live with that. That's most likely.
Tune in next week. If the Miz somehow leaves Raw next week against Bobby Lashley with the WWE Championship, I will get pied in the face by Victoria. Okay?
Okay.
We'll do that. And she'll do it right at the start of the show, so I have to do the entire show with pie all over my face.
Well, you can't do that.
Why?
Because if it gets on your computer, then you're screwed.
I will wipe it off the computer.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
That's what we'll do.
All right, fine.
God. Anyway, so Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, I actually kind of forgot about their last man standing match, and then I was like, so when I was watching this, I was like, wow, they actually had a really great match. I was like, they've done it before. We've been there live when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
We've been there live when it happened. So, this was all action. It was like 6 minutes long, and they were just crushing each other. Bobby Lashley was super impressive in that. Like, he actually lifted Braun Strowman up in a vertical suplex position and held him up there for like a second or two at least.
Honestly, I didn't realize how impressive he was. It kind of, he was one of those guys where, like, when he first came back, right? And I didn't know anything about what.
Goosey and Daniel, shut up.
What are they saying?
Goosey wants it to get violent. He wants me to get slapped in the face, and Daniel says he'd settle for a kick in the balls.
Well, no,
I'm not alone.
Well, no, I'm not going to do that because I want more children. So.
Daniel wants divorce papers.
I want more children, so I will not do, and I will not slap you in the face because we are a
family-friendly show.
We are a family-friendly show. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But I do want more children.
Don't get me started on titles, though. That 24/7 rant from God, was that 2019 now?
Was it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. That's still that's still one of my most legendary rants.
I think. It is 2019.
I think that's one of my most legendary rants.
Anywho, what was I saying? Lashley was one of those guys when he first came back, because obviously I didn't have much knowledge of him, but as I started to see more matches where, it was legitimate, I found to really enjoy them. He really is he's good in the ring, and I didn't realize how impressive he can honestly be and how strong he is. I mean, yeah, like his size, you would think, of course, but he really is very, very strong.
Oh yeah.
And this was quite the match tonight. It really was.
It was a lot of fun, and honestly, like I talked about this last night with Doug, where I thought a bunch. The Sasha Banks rant was my rants on Sasha Banks were pretty damn good too.
It was a pretty.
Nafis just brought that up.
Yeah.
Wow. somebody needs to like find a way to compile all of my greatest rants.
Have Nafis do it.
And put them into like a compilation.
I think Nafis.
I don't even know when I rant, so it's like I should write these things down.
I should have a video camera on you. Like,
Jerome says Lashley away from that awful Lana marriage nonsense has done wonders for his character.
Oh,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
100% right about
And
that.
we always knew that would be the case, though. So, what was I saying before? About Lashley? Oh, yeah. So, he's super impressive in terms of his strength, and he's really, really a solid hand. And the guy's in his mid 40s, you know, like you can't tell, you know, he looks really good.
Can't.
I actually left this Raw after sending out that tweet where I was like, oh great, two big lumbering guys in the title picture. Blah. I actually left this Raw like, I'm actually kind of excited to see Bobby Lashley in the title picture now. It actually turned out to not be a bad thing. It wouldn't upset me. I still want Drew versus Sheamus.
Dream match, yeah.
I mean, I guess Drew and Sheamus doesn't have to be for the title, but you know they built it up because it has to be for the title. But it was a solid ass main event. I just like that the show had focus on this title picture.
Yeah, I would, obviously
that's something that was missing when Brock Lesnar was holding the title and wasn't on the show for months.
Oh, 100%.
The show needs the title, and that
it
goes
needs
back
a
to my
presence.
24/7 rant, where the show needs titles to be more than just props. Like they should be a focus on the show.
They should. It's a built-in storyline.
Of course.
You know, and that's not a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just think that honestly, I'm in a position where, WrestleMania, obviously, due to everything, I was like not that excited about last year. I just wasn't, and I've come to accept certain things of, what's transpired over the year and like know that, okay, well, they're going to have these fans or whatever and like people in the crowd, and it's going to be different, obviously, but I am a little bit more excited knowing that at this point, they do have a lot of options, and those options aren't bad options. If it's Sheamus, cool. If it's Lashley, great. Would I want to see a triple threat? No. But if it did happen, I don't think it would be that bad.
Yeah.
And again, obviously, if it was The Miz, I'd be like, yeah, cool. But like, that's just a personal thing. But they have options, and they're not. If you explore any one of them, you can really see and envision it to be something that would be really good. So I'm not upset by any of them, really. At the end of the day, I think that you could have a really solid matchup and a really solid main event with those indivials.
I agree. Well, and at the end of the day, I'll say it again. I said it before. I like that this year's WrestleMania, they appear, to be going with what they have. So far, there's been no legends brought back yet. Goldberg, was at the Royal Rumble, and there's a potential that Goldberg could show up at WrestleMania because he has
Lashley,
2 matches.
Like you said, who knows?
But right now, it appears like whoever's on our roster, that's who we're going with. We're not going to pay any money to bring Dwayne Johnson. We're not doing anything where we're bringing in outside help. We're going to go with what we've got. We're going to go with the people who've been with us all year through this damn pandemic and put on the best show.
Hard, yeah.
And let's just see where we're at. Let's just see what we've got.
I really do. I don't think they need.
And that's what they're doing.
Exactly.
I'm not upset about that.
No, I think they really could do it, though. They're proving that they can do it. You don't need to rely on legends, and they really have really, really strong people. Utilize them. Yep.
All right, let's talk about the rest of this show because.
Do we have to?
Well, I mean, some of the show wasn't.
No, there was some
stuff
that wasn't
bad.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying there was some stuff that wasn't great either.
There's some stuff that wasn't great. All right, so and a lot of it was just kind of filler or just kind of like showcase stuff. John Morrison versus Riddle, for example, was very much just like, okay, Riddle's the new WWE United States
Yeah.
champion. Let's just get him a solid win. So John Morrison gave him a good match. I thought it was really well done. There was a scary moment there with John Morrison, though. Scary moment. I'm going to bring up real quick just so you can see it.
Yeah.
Where he goes for his corkscrew plancha, overshot him, and he landed real hard. I mean, you can see how he landed.
You could tell
he landed on that left knee, hit really, really hard. He immediately grabbed that knee after that move happened, and even when he came out later on, he was limping. You know, he was in rough shape following that move. So that was a little scary, but he appears to have avoided catastrophic injury.
Yeah, injury. Yeah.
But
might just be a little sore and.
But they actually they had a really, really good match. It was a good win for Riddle, who's been made to look like a total fucking goof for the last few weeks. You know, getting destroyed by Bobby Lashley, and he's got the stoner gimmick. I mean, they have him riding on a razor scooter now for whatever fucking reason.
Why not?
Well, but unfortunately, like you see Riddle doing his thing. He's holding Keith Lee's title. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that if Keith Lee was on the show last night,
he would have won.
That was his match to win.
It was.
That was his match to win. Keith Lee would probably just spirit bomb Riddle and pin him while Bobby Lashley's on the outside. The finish would have gone exactly the same, with Keith Lee hitting, probably hitting Lashley in the back with the crutch, and he pins Riddle. Because I can't imagine Riddle pinning Keith Lee.
No,
I can't imagine that, but I mean, it could
happen. It would have been a totally different outcome. You're right about that.
You know, so like, you know, you kind of feel for Keith Lee, and again, he was not on the show again tonight. His fiance Mia Yim was on the show though.
She was,
but he was not on the show, unfortunately.
Interesting.
So, good showcase win for Riddle.
I think, you know, when he does come back, right? You know, I think it is something for obviously him to obtain in the future. Yeah. You know what I mean? Give Riddle his time now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when Keith Lee does return, give him also his due diligence.
Yes, just give him his due for sure. There was a pretty good segment with Bad Bunny backstage with Damian Priest, and they see R-Truth sneaking around with the referee.
I'm enjoying Bad Bunny now. I really am.
I don't hate Bad Bunny.
I didn't. It's not that I hated him. I didn't know who the heck he was. I'm like, who is this guy? Again, I'm so out of touch, and I feel like terrible because I'm usually very in touch with these things. But he's
big. He's huge.
Oh my gosh.
He's actually like a legitimate superstar.
He's been fun. I've been enjoying him.
He likes wrestling. And I mean, he doesn't need to be on the show every week. This guy is actually like a mega star in Latin
in the music industry.
In Latin music. He's like enormous, apparently. He was on SNL this past Saturday. I mean, this guy is doing big things, and he's dicking around every Monday night with Damian Priest.
It's amazing.
And he brought the 24/7 title on SNL.
Yeah.
So he just really likes wrestling.
He does. And you know what? I'm a fan of that. Like, if you like the show, if you like wrestling and you want to be part of it, like, cool. Why not?
Yeah. But he's actually, it was really, R-Truth was great in this. Hugging the referee, and he's like, oh, you know, like, it was fun. Okay. They had a thing for Punky Brewster. I didn't grow up I mean, I was born in the 80s. I was born in the late 80s, but I have no memories of Punky Brewster. So that sneak peek meant nothing to me. And I imagine it meant nothing to a great majority of the people that would watch this show.
No idea.
But so Punky Brewster's coming to Peacock. New Day versus Retribution. Okay. What a difference a week can make, right? I was excited about, we talked about this, I believe a week ago on Post Raw. I talked about the excitement of actually like Mustafa Ali versus Kofi Kingston and how they could, and how this is like the one storyline that's perfect for Retribution. The only reason that Retribution would even exist is because, you know, Kofi Kingston took Mustafa Ali's place and he got over and Mustafa was left in the dust. like this storyline kind of writes itself, and it's like, okay, Kofi beats The Miz last week to enter Elimination Chamber.
Correct.
Loses the gauntlet match, but he never should have even entered the chamber. The storyline writes itself. It's like, you took away my opportunity, I'm taking away your opportunity. Retribution should have attacked Kofi Kingston at Elimination Chamber.
Correct.
He never should have stepped foot in the chamber.
Correct.
Instead, he's not only in the chamber, he eliminates Randy Orton. You know,
which is big.
You know, it's like now it's like, how do you justify Kofi Kingston eliminating Randy Orton last night and then going back to dicking around with Retribution?
Right.
It's like, you know, Kofi obviously is an incredible performer.
He is, 100%.
And he shouldn't. Honestly, like, Retribution is below him. Obviously, it's below. Retribution's below Arturo Ruas at this point. But now they have New Day versus Retribution tonight, and it's like, this is just over again. It's like New Day easily beats T-Bar and Mace, like, you know, like totally outsmarts them. They're total dicks. And Mustafa Ali's yelling at them, and it appears that they're breaking up Retribution, which is the best thing that can happen to all 5 of these people.
Man, I should have done it weeks ago. Remember, we said we would forgive you if you did it like at the start of it.
But wow, what a difference a week makes there.
It is. I mean, it truly is. The one thing I will say is this: they are so key on missing just simple opportunities.
Right.
Like you said, you
The
described it perfectly.
storyline writes itself.
You described it perfectly. They could take in every opportunity. Because again, Retribution, they didn't have a contract. So in the beginning, it was like, but then they gave him a contract. It's like, what are you moaning about now? Like, what are you crying about now? What are you whining about now? But they're just, I guess they didn't follow through with it, because at this point, if they figure they're just gonna end the whole thing, like, why even entertain it for even a little bit longer? I don't know, but
yeah, no, it just,
I guess it was just not, obviously it wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't from the beginning. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it's
to go forward. So I guess that's why they're not continuing with that. But that would have been the only thing that saved this.
It's like Retribution's they're just a terrible stable.
My question is, though,
they had a chance to kind of fix it, and they didn't fix it.
My question is, though, is like, what do you do then once they do break up, right? And once it ends, what do you do with somebody like Ali? The other individuals, it's like, okay, they can kind of like fade into the background and you know job a little bit, but what do you do with somebody like that who, again, has a lot of potential and who did? It was generally they were very interested in, but obviously, Kofi had to take his place for a reason at the time.
Well, he had a concussion.
He had a concussion.
I mean, but like
but
injuries.
What do you do with somebody like him?
I don't know. Probably what they were doing before. Nothing. Like he'll just be a guy that fades in the background. Now for the other people, like, Shane Thorne, he'll definitely be like, like he'll fade into nothingness as well. Mm-hmm. Dijakovic, Mace, he's a big guy. He's got a great build. Dio Madden, the former commentator, but you can tell in the ring, he's a guy playing wrestler. He's not a professional wrestler. He's not. And once this group eventually does break up, I don't see Dio Madden coming back, or I don't see him lasting long before he's completely exposed and he's out.
Right.
But like a guy like Dijakovic, we've seen what he can do in NXT. Like, a great main roster feud with Keith Lee might be just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah.
But when you're in something this bad,
yeah, it's hard.
Like, how can you reclaim it? So let's skip ahead a little bit to AJ Styles versus Ricochet.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I watched that match and I'm like, man, Ricochet stinks. Okay, like they ruined him with trying to get him to be a promo guy. He's not a promo guy. The guy can't talk. He sucks on the microphone. They tried to make him a guy that cuts promos. It's not him. Is it? But when I watched that match against AJ Styles, I'm like, man, that was like just fun. That was a fun, short little match.
Fun match.
It was he obviously can be valuable. He has value. But if you put him with a manager now, is it too late to do a reclamation project with him?
I know what you mean.
And so it's like, I asked the same question about Dijakovic. When you're in a storyline that's this bad and
yeah.
this big of a turd,
Yeah.
can you be saved from that?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it
can
depends.
you get out of that storyline and come back better?
I don't know. I would say this. When it comes
I would ask that to the chat room as well.
Yeah.
Is there saving Dijakovic? Can you save Dijakovic and can you save Ricochet?
Okay, you're gonna think I'm crazy. I think you can save Ricochet,
Really?
but it would take a really long time.
You need to get him off of television.
You need to get him off of TV. I think with Dijakovic, I think you can also save him, but I don't think you necessarily need to take him off TV. But I think you just need to, obviously, Retribution breaks up. Maybe not for a while. He just kind of resurfaces, you know what I mean, into the, and just slowly makes his way into, matches and then finds his, opponent or whatever. But Ricochet is so deep into this. Not that Retribution is one of the worst things that happened, especially this year. You know what I mean? Like, this was just one of the worst groups, and it just was. But Ricochet has done a lot more damage to himself because they've involved him in a lot of things. And not that they haven't involved Retribution, but like, it's kind of always been bad. Ricochet obviously had the potential, and I'm not saying Dijakovic doesn't either, but Ricochet really needs to just be off TV for 6 months, even longer. You know what I mean? And then like rebrand everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have to get him with somebody who can talk for him.
He was never meant, like you said, he was never meant to be a promo guy.
And I'm not even saying like you get him with a manager, and he's not gonna be a main event talent either.
No,
he'd be like a solid mid to upper mid card guy.
Absolutely.
Perhaps if you had a manager, but then again, you can only go so far with a manager. I think Ricochet's tougher than Dijakovic, and actually, Randy Turcola came up with a good idea for Dijakovic. It's like, you could either deny he was in Retribution at all because he was T-Bar,
correct,
which that would just be an insult to everybody's intelligence.
Right.
That's like when Mia Yim's mask fell off 3 seconds into her very first match, and it's like, oh, who's that? It's like, we know it's Mia Yim. Okay, we just know.
We all know.
But Randy also said you could have him blow up Ali during the breakup and then just try to build him from there.
Absolutely.
Dijakovic easier to save.
He put
Ricochet.
It worse than he put it, actually better than me. Like, he explained it better than me, but that's kind of the point I was trying to make. It was such a short-term thing that, again, it was one of the worst things that happened, but it's such a short-term thing that you can be saved. Ricochet has been in this a long time. From the moment Ricochet debuted, it was kind of like,
Well, I was excited to see him debut.
I was too.
And that very night, the night he debuted, they had him cut a promo, and I was like,
yeah,
exactly. I think if you go back and look at what I said about Ricochet and his promo, because we had Post Raw going on at the time.
Yeah.
I think I even said, like, okay, maybe he'll grow into it, but that was not a good showing.
No.
And it never got better.
And
they kept making him try. It's like, at some point, it's like, you're going to kill the guy. Stop. And they did.
Yeah, he's not.
Like,
he has to go away for a really, really long time.
Yeah, he's got to go back to NXT and do like the Finn Balor.
He was like
route.
a Superman, and like he was like
a God, yeah.
And again, you can't have stuff like that.
But when they had him just wrestling. When they had
great.
The best thing that happened to him was the King of the Ring tournament. He was awesome in the King of the Ring tournament. We were actually there at Madison Square Garden when they had that 3-way with him, Baron Corbin, and Samoa Joe. They had that triple threat at Madison Square Garden at that Raw. That was an awesome match.
I always make fun of him, but here's in all seriousness with Ricochet, and I do mean this, that
I'd sit in the NXT UK.
When you know how we always talked about too, like WWE's very and they've influenced the fans to think like, oh, if people aren't doing flips and dives and things like that, then they're not going to be entertained, right? They're always looking for that like wow factor, and Ricochet definitely brings that to you. But I think he's more than that in the ring. I think he is, yeah, that's definitely a specialty of his, like a high flyer and doing all these cool moves and tricks, and he's very athletic, obviously. But I think he's more than that, and I think they just missed the mark on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he definitely can bring more to the table if he just wrestled, because he showed that like he obviously when he works with people he's really versatile, but they just had him do way too much of the talking, and it just ruined it. But I don't put him in that category of like, oh, he's just a high flyer, oh, he just does this, he's just a showy, flashy individual in the ring. He can wrestle, obviously.
Right.
And I think he's a little bit more unique than that. So I do enjoy him as a talent in the ring. It's the character, but it goes back to that same old thing that we've been talking about for a very long time. This is the best talent they've ever had in the ring in terms of technicality, in terms of actual
technique, yep.
in ring moves, right? Despite the fact that there aren't territories.
Who cares about moves? But they're all capable of putting together a good match.
Despite the fact that there aren't territories, but this is one of the most stacked rosters ever. And again, going back to Hulk Hogan, couldn't wrestle, but a great character.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
You don't have characters.
Right.
You don't have characters.
John Cena eventually became a really good wrestler, but he was not a good wrestler when they pushed him to the moon. When he started off, he was not technically, like the best guy on the roster by far. You would think that they would be
flourishing in this moment right now because they have the in-ring talent, but they don't have the characters.
Well, they're overexposed. They have too much television and not enough ideas.
Like, where were these people in the Attitude Era? And you know what I mean? Like, come on.
You didn't need these guys in the Attitude Era. They carried themselves because
right.
they were able to do their own characters.
Right, but what I mean to say is like, these people are amazing.
Yeah.
But they're not being utilized properly,
well,
so it overshadows.
Well, how about a guy like Angel Garza, Damian Priest against Angel Garza? Angel Garza actually took it to Damian Priest during this match, and I'm like, man, Angel Garza is just. Imagine having Angel Garza on your roster, and you have him with a shitty fucking Lothario gimmick where he's supposed to be a ladies' man. You never seen him with one lady, like. And he's going nowhere. He's going absolutely nowhere. A guy that you could literally build a company around. Like he's talented. He's got a great look. He's a good promo.
Yep.
I think he's a total package for sure.
He totally is.
Maybe you don't build the company around him. Maybe he's not like the face of the company. That I should rephrase. But
we could do a lot with him.
You can do way more than you're doing with him. Imagine having that level of talent. Somebody who could be potentially, their answer to the Latin market. They've been looking for the next Rey Mysterio so badly that they have Rey Mysterio there and he's almost 50 years old.
Right.
To the point where they signed Rey Mysterio's son who's in his 20s now. That's how old Rey Mysterio is. You have somebody who has that Eddie Guerrero potential in Angel Garza. And this is what you're doing with him.
Yep.
That's how stacked their roster is.
Their roster is. Yep.
It's incredible. It's an embarrassment of riches. It's
crazy.
Really.
It's really crazy.
And they're totally wasting.
But I agree with you. Good showing for Damian Priest, though.
Very,
definitely.
very. Yeah, he looked good in that match. Although I still want him to stop doing the flying around shit. I don't like that. Tornado tag. Hurt Business beats Lucha House Party in a tornado tag. That was just fun. Actually, I enjoyed that. It was short and sweet. Nothing wrong with it.
Absolutely.
Randy Orton thing.
Dumb.
It's just like there's nothing to even say.
Dumb.
He threw up black liquid for.
We could
There's no reason
But
to.
that's a whole separate podcast. Honestly,
there's no reason to.
there's no reason
You know,
to. We've already beat it.
The one thing I like is that they have really scaled back on this stupid. Like they're
They
still
have.
doing stupid shit.
They have.
But the stupid shit isn't dominating
No,
segments.
it's
And it's
not.
not dominating the
It's
show.
not, no.
So I got to give them credit for that. That they've at least recognized that. Maybe we're going a little.
We
too
can't make it
fucking
our
far
focus.
here.
Yeah,
Maybe we're going a little too
exactly.
fucking
If
far
we're gonna
here.
continue with this, we'll just scale it back a bit.
I still think they're going to do something stupid at WrestleMania, but
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But
on a 2-night WrestleMania, if they spend a portion of one night
you
doing
could
something
absolutely,
stupid, I can live with that.
Absolutely.
Okay, this was the definition of like spinning your tires. Like I don't need to see Asuka and Charlotte Flair team anymore. Like their friendship, whatever they've tried to claim it is, it's never been established. It's never been shown. They don't work together. Charlotte Flair does things on her own away from Asuka.
Yeah.
They have no chemistry. They don't talk to each other. Charlotte was like, oh, like I can't concentrate. I'm really sorry for my partner. It's like you don't feel it. It's just not there.
No.
It's just not there. And Nia and Shayna are just there just to fill a hole in the.
Oh. Did you do that on purpose?
No, actually, I didn't.
Oh my gosh,
I wish I was that good.
That's so funny.
Fill my hole.
Oh, my hole.
to fill a hole on in this show to just fill up some time. This match stunk. I did not like it.
As a female, I am very just disappointed.
But it does appear that they are setting up for Charlotte Flair versus Asuka, which is which is what they always should have been setting up.
Yeah.
It always should have been going in that direction. I don't know how the hell they got sidetracked with this Lacey Evans white trash storyline, but like I said in my tweet, the miracle of life has inadvertently breathed life into the Raw Women's division. If it's going to be Charlotte Flair versus Asuka, that has way more life to it than Lacey Evans versus Charlotte Flair with Ric Flair being there. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
All right. And also, like, I can go on about that women's division. I'm going to just stop myself here. I loved Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. Loved it. That was such a fun match. I know Jeff Hardy catches a lot of flack on this channel, and it's kind of stupid. Like the guy had problems. Like he can't begrudge him that. But the guy can still go in the ring. He slowed down a lot, but he's still really good at what he does. And the guy can work a physical style, and you wouldn't expect Jeff Hardy to be able to hang in there with Sheamus and have a convincing match.
Yeah.
But he can. And he had that big slugfest with Sheamus, and it was really physical. He crushed him on that fucking Whisper in the Wind.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he crushed him.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Really, really good match. And Sheamus kept his fire, heading out, leaving Elimination Chamber last night. He was not victorious, but he got back a lot of steam tonight. But there was no follow-up to that because we had to go backstage to watch Charlotte fucking Flair once again dress down her father. Now, the one thing I liked about this, it definitely had some real emotion. And, again, they're like saying goodbye to Ric Flair and all that stuff for now because the Lacey Evans thing is clearly over because she's clearly actually pregnant in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But she talked about, I can't be, I have to be Charlotte Flair and I can't be Ric Flair's daughter. I have to be Charlotte Flair and you have to go home. It was good. But at the same time, it's like we've watched her dress the guy down. Now, if this was the first time she did that, then it'd be like, wow, that was really a really powerful angle.
Impact, yeah.
Like you might even get choked up watching it because she said some really, some nice things in there. But then at the end, she's like, you got to go home. You got to get out. Like, it just came off again like, how is she a face? She's a total bitch, just beaten down on her father.
On her father, yeah.
Who's trying to just, live a little. It's like, come on. And he cut a good promo here too, but man, it's like, it's just so hard to buy her as a face. And I really hope that she just fucking crushes Asuka and is the heel heading into WrestleMania.
This is so hard just to buy. Sorry. It's so hard to buy anything with the women's division. I hate to say it. It's just not good. There's really not anything I look forward to.
I'm looking forward to Asuka and Charlotte Flair.
But that's about it. I mean, this shouldn't be like that.
Right. I mean,
2021. Like, we should be. Women should just be as dominant as the men.
Right.
And they're not.
Yep.
They're just not. The storylines are they just suck.
They do.
They do, and it breaks my heart. It really does.
Well, it's again, it's like
but it does though, because I feel like we're going backwards. I feel like they're just okay. You made a really good point about even like Mandy Rose.
Well, that's what I was getting to. That was like the follow up to like to Charlotte Flair and Asuka, like where there's some life breathed into this division, and then all of a sudden you have a 30-second match with Naomi and Lana going over Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, and Mandy Rose is the one who gets pinned. It's like, how do we go from so this time last year, Mandy Rose was involved in one of the stronger storylines they had going into WrestleMania.
Yes.
With the fight for Otis's soul and this and that. And even at SummerSlam, I dare say Mandy Rose was one of the main events of SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Her match against Sonya Deville.
She was.
Yes, it was brought down because of the stalker thing that happened days before that match was supposed to go on. But there was a lot of anticipation for that match before that. And she was in that angle. She was strong as hell in that angle too.
She was very strong.
And then she goes over to Raw and gets saddled in a fucking tag team that we all knew from day one was going nowhere with Dana Brooke. And look at her now. What a job they did with Mandy Rose. What a job they did with her.
It's like
you could tell she has no passion.
No, not at all.
You could tell that she has no enthusiasm for anything she's doing. She looks completely and totally defeated.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think it's been I think the start of her year was good, obviously, like you said, and then it just between like the stalker thing and then with Sonya and then this all happening now, I think it's just been a rough year for her. I do, and I feel very badly about that because I you know what it is, I'm very critical, but I'm not critical of them. I'm critical of how they're
booked.
I'm not critical of them. I mean, some of them, yes, I am. I'm like, you need to work on yourself for sure. But overall, it's not them that's the problem. It's the way that they're booking them. They're not giving them. They go back into these patterns of like, oh yeah, women. Yeah, like we're gonna rule the world and we're gonna be just as good as the men. But then they make it quite obvious that the guys in this company are always gonna be on top.
Yeah.
And if you're a woman, you really don't have much room for. We'll always kind of go back to like, we need filler. We just need you here because we need females on this show.
Yep. And yeah, that was kind of an embarrassing way to kind of close that out. But that's the last thing that we have to talk about this show tonight. Kind of the sad state of the women's division. But overall, other than those things, especially with the women and the Randy Orton thing that was pretty damn bad, and the Retribution thing that was really bad. Most of the show was actually pretty good.
It was.
We spent a good amount of time now talking about the things that weren't that great, but the show had focus. There's a lot of questions heading into WrestleMania. I like that the picture hasn't emerged yet because we still have a month and a half to get it to emerge. I have to say, I'm excited to watch next week's show. I'm excited for the WWE Championship match. I think they're going to have a screw job finish somehow, some way. There will be something where there's going to be something screwy going on with Miz and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm still excited to watch it. So that's all I can ask. So, Victoria, I will ask you, and then we'll ask the chat room, what do you give this show? Do you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
I give it a thumbs up, a solid thumbs up.
I'll give the show a thumbs up as well. So let's, while we wait for the chat room, because there is obviously a lag in what we say, let's take a look at what the Twitter says. And Twitter has it at 75% thumbs up.
I'm not surprised.
That's pretty good. Because last night's show I thought was pretty darn good, and it actually it wound up with Daniel Schell's favorite result, 69% thumbs up.
There you go. It was all for Daniel.
It's all for Daniel.
It was all for Daniel.
But like, while we were doing Wrestleview Live last night, it was only like 59%, 60%. I was like, this show is better than that. 75%. That's pretty solid for
that's solid for a Raw.
For a Raw in 2021.
True.
So we'll take that all day long. All right, let's see what the chat room is saying. Oh, it's still we're still waiting on them. So yeah, I give the show a thumbs up. It, like I said, it had direction, it had focus.
Good matches, great matches.
2 thumbs up for Raw, and let's see Victoria's happy dance for The Miz and his championship run.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, I can't. Well, I see. You know what's so funny?
Machine Walls gives another thumbs up too.
You know what's really funny? I'm just gonna kind of go like this because I don't really know what else to do. Because I actually can dance, everyone.
Victoria can dance.
I just it's hard on the screen, so I'll just kind of go like this.
I cannot dance.
Ooh, no, you cannot. You can't.
I know
it's true.
The baby can dance. She's a dancer.
She's a good dancer. This is her dance.
She's just. It's like so funny when she dances. It's the sweetest thing on earth. Oh, little bitch. And go with the thumbs up. Daniel Shaw gives the show thumbs up. A begrudging thumbs up. I am Alpha thumbs up. I enjoyed Hardy match and Lashley. Daniel Shaw thumbs up for a white boy from Cleveland being brutalized. Oh, that's right. Miz did get brutalized at the end of the show too. So got crushed with that one arm slam. Quentin Walters Raw gets a thumbs up. Post Miz Fit Raw 12 thumbs up.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. So Andrew Elder gives it tepid thumbs up, and pretty much I now have Seth Rollins to hate on, so Victoria's safe. Also have many Fiend things. Also, your daughter's faves are Fiend and Alexa. That's true. This is true.
She loves Mercy.
Randy Torcola gives it a thumbs up. All right, everybody. Next week, if The Miz leaves that episode of Raw with the WWE Championship, I am getting pied in the face next week, so you have to tune in to see that. Corey Howell gives the show a thumbs up. What else is coming up this week on the Wrestleview YouTube channel? We got the SmackDown. We got the SmackDown post show with Mr. Roy Nemmer and a special guest, I'm sure, or he might be flying solo. I never know. And on Sunday we have Mr. Doug Lackey with Wrestleview Weekly. And then you'll have Post Raw number 117.
With us.
With us. What are we doing? We will find out. All right, everybody. Victoria's Victory gets 3 thumbs up from Quentin Walters as well.
Oh, thank you.
And Nafis Sadat gives us a woo. I like that. All right, everybody. I'm Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And I am Victoria Tedesco.
Have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.